I am VARC. You're listening to TSMN Podcast, featuring stories by Layla from Durham College. Transmitting. Hello, I am VARC. I am back with you. Wait, I'm back this week as your host for another TSMN podcast. Thank you for listening. In this week's podcast, we join Layla and the TSTV crew at a Durham College for the first Robotics Canada Ontario District event. 40 teams attended this 3-day event from all over Southern Ontario. Layla spoke to students from a variety of teams, and she also spoke to some FIRST Robotics staff. I'm happy to transmit these interview segments to you. I am VARC. Here is Layla reporting from the pits. We begin this podcast with Disha, Nupur, and Diksha, members of Woburn Robotics. Transmission begins now.
I'm Layla from Durham College First Robotics event. Hi, I'm here with Diksha, Nupur, and Disha of the Woburn Collegiate Robotics team. So can you ladies tell us a little bit about what you do on the team?
I do public relations on the team. We're all part of the public relations team.
We work towards the chairman's award.
Very exciting. So for the public relations team, that is a little bit of a less technical job, but you still need to understand the robot. What are some of the tasks that you would do as public relations specialists?
So we often go out to recruit sponsors, and we also do outreach within the community. It may seem like we're not involved in design of the robot at all, but during kickoff, when the video comes out, we all come together as a team and split into little sub-teams and decide what exactly the robot would look like with different parts in it.
Yeah, and we just work towards community outreach, getting as many people involved in STEM as we can.
Very exciting. As a woman in STEM myself, I see it great that you guys are reaching out to other ladies and other people in general. STEM is an amazing field to be in. Can you tell me a little bit about how you think your robot is different from last year and the processes that you changed to excel for this year?
I think this year our robot is different because we added more artistic components to it. Like this year we have triangles and the catting and stuff, so we wanted to give it an overall more creative look of it. Also, this year's game is a little different. Every year they have a hang. This year they changed it to a climb, which is a little more difficult this is a little more difficult, so we had to come with we have become a little more creative.
Definitely. We had to strategize with the entire team. We have 130 people who are a part of our team. So we worked with all these people the best as we can to come up with one solution that accommodates the game for this year. So that was really cool.
Very exciting. So what were the outcomes that you would like to see today at the competition?
We would obviously hope to win. There is a lot of competition, and with competitions, it's really exciting because you get to elevate yourself, because if there is competition, you want to strive to do better, right? You get better with competition. We're very, very excited.
We like to use the word cooperation rather than competition. So yeah, we hope to see a robot work, definitely, and get a really good experience out of today, for sure.
We want to learn something new, of course.
Yeah. Of course, amazing. I'm really excited to see you out here. You just have a huge team, which is amazing. So congratulations for being able to pull together everything. I hope your robot goes well, and it was a pleasure to speak with you.
I am VARC. Thank you to those students from Woburn Robotics. FRC team interview transmissions continue with Brogan from Robo Ravens, Eric from Lake Effect Robotics, and Monica, Maddie, and Tony Ann from Renaissance Robotics. I am VARC. You're listening to TSMN Podcast featuring stories by Layla from Durham College. Transmitting.
Hi, I'm here with Brogan from the Robo Ravens from Ottawa, Ontario. So Brogan, tell us a little bit about the journey that you guys had to take to actually get here.
This season was a little bit rough, to be honest. We lost our captain midway through, but we got our robot done, and we're going to upgrade it more for North Bay. So yeah, currently it's not at its full capabilities, but we'll get there.
Very exciting. It's cool that you guys are still building on the fly. How do you feel about today's outcomes, and what would you like to see today's outcomes be for this competition?
So we're confident that our robot works pretty well with the minimal things it can do, and will be useful to any lines that we're on.
So are you competing in more competitions?
Yeah, we're going to North Bay later on this month.
So obviously this is a lot of time and commitment outside of your school hours. What fuels you to put in all this effort into this endeavor?
Honestly, I just love it. It's a lot of fun, and I love the people that I work with.
So do you think you'll pursue something within the STEM industry in the future?
Yeah, definitely. 100%, yeah.
Very awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about why you're wearing this awesome spacesuit right now?
I originally got it for Halloween, and I figured, hey, it's a good idea to have because this year's competition is deep space, so symbolism.
Awesome. I love the symbolism of that. I think you're going to make a great astronaut one day if you choose to do that, but at the very least, you guys have an amazing team, and Brogan, it was so great to interview. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm here with Eric from the World Champion team. Eric, what team are you on?
I'm on Team Lake Effect Robotics 2708.
That is super exciting. So you guys won the World Championship last year.
Yeah.
Do you hope to steal the deal again?
Well, we hope to, but well, at least winning some of the first competitions first would be nice. But it would just be crazy if we won it again. That would be crazy. Yeah.
Super exciting. So tell me a little bit about how your robot came together and the process in which you guys took to design and build the robot.
For this year's robot, well, we took a long time designing it because there were so many ideas and we weren't sure which ones were the best, and especially with the sort of outtake for our balls, the cargo, that was a challenge of trying to decide what to do there. A lot of stuff was sort of last minute because we had so many snow days. They canceled 15 days of our competition, or not competition, but of our building and stuff like that. So that slowed us down a lot, but we've managed to pull it together. And then these last few days, we've gotten this robot together, and it's been a great 6 weeks. Very, very busy, but lots of fun, lots of building, lots of great ideas.
Awesome, very excited, Eric. So you are also the team safety captain.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what that kind of responsibility is.
So this is actually my first year being the team safety captain, and the reason why is because the last year's safety captain graduated, and so they passed it down to me now, which is awesome. And so what I get to do is make sure that everyone on the team is being safe, and make sure they're wearing safety glasses, making sure they're wearing closed-toed shoes, and just making sure no one's getting any injuries. And also making sure there's no dangling cords that people trip over and that sort of stuff.
Very exciting, Eric. So tell me a little bit about the competition process. Like, where does your day start and where does it end?
Oh, it's very busy. So we got here yesterday around 3, and then the pits opened at 4. And once we got our robot in, we were just fixing the robot, putting things on, just constantly adding things on and making it better since we were kind of behind. And well, it's always a continuous progress of making your robot better. But we stayed there until about 9 when the pits closed, so about 4 or 5 hours. And then today we got here at 7, and then we'll be here for potentially around 12 hours. And then tomorrow, when they do the elimination rounds, it's another around maybe 10 hours or so of just of qualifications, then eliminations, and then award ceremony. So lots of hours, lots of time, lots of hard work, but lots of fun.
Very exciting. So obviously this is a lot of hours, like you just said.
Yeah.
What motivates you to put in this time and effort into this team?
Well, it's a lot of fun. I like building the robot, and also the people on our team are really friendly. So it's much easier when everybody else is excited, then everybody gets each other pumped up to go and build the robot, go compete, and just try to do our best and have fun.
Very exciting, Eric. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to talk to us. I wish you the best in competition.
Thank you.
My name's Monica. I'm a grade 10 student with Team 4525 from St. Thomas, and today I'm really excited to see how our robot's going to do and to just be in this environment again for the first time this season, and I was really excited to see how the game's going to play out this year.
My name is Maddie. I'm also from Team 4525, and today I am just like, same with Monica, I'm so excited and we're really pumped up for the competition. It's day one, we're just getting going. Tomorrow's going to be even better, and we're feeling great.
Hi, I'm Tony Ann, and I'm also from 4525 Renaissance Robotics, and I'm really happy that this day has come. We've worked really hard to come to get to this point, and I'm really excited for the matches.
We love FIRST Robotics! Hi, I'm Madeline.
I'm Monica.
And I'm Tony Ann.
I am VARC. You're listening to TSMN Podcast. Thank you, students. And Layla. Our podcast continues with these interviews with staff from FIRST Robotics Canada. Here is Layla speaking with Kim Cooper, David Ellis, and Mark Bredner. I am VARC, transmitting these interviews now.
I'm Layla, and I'm here with Kim, who's the Vice President of Partnerships. Tell me a little bit about what that means in the big scheme of this competition.
Yeah, so I'm the Vice President of Partnerships for FIRST Robotics Canada, so I get to work with all of our sponsors and partners who want to engage with the kids. So partners like Microsoft and Magna, I help them get involved with the program and also make those connections with those employees, with the students.
Super exciting. So you have a really interesting position where you get to see both sides of what happens at this competition. Why do you think the partners and the partnerships are so important to what you do here?
That's a really good question. I think it's so important because there's so much that sponsors can learn from the kids and the students, and then of course what students can learn from those partners. And of course, these students are the future leaders of tomorrow, right? So of course, corporations, organizations, they want to meet these leaders, learn from them, but also hopefully get them engaged in their company and what they're doing. And of course, technology, robotics is all the buzz, coding these days. Yeah, so of course we need these young minds going into industries, STEM industries for sure.
Very important. Obviously, a lot of the ladies here are ladies. There's a lot more girls than I've seen 10 years ago when I used to do it. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing as an organization, specifically your team, what you've put together, and the book that you wrote, and why you think it's so important to write things like that and to produce councils like you've produced.
So FIRST Canada has embarked on a strategy of equity, diversity, and inclusion. So within that, we're really looking to represent voices that may not have otherwise been heard before in the past. So one of those groups is, of course, girls and young women, and going into STEM and that sort of industry. So a couple of years ago, we formed the Girls in FIRST Student Council, and this group of people, they're very passionate about how do we make change within this, within the organization, within teams, but then also within society. What are some of the barriers that these girls and young women face? Because it's interesting that some of the challenges that the girls face on the teams, it will sometimes be mimicked when women get into the workforce. So that is, again, the collaboration between corporations and sponsors and FIRST Robotics, because we can learn a lot from each other and try to remove some of those barriers so that we're making sure that everyone has a seat at the STEM table. So I wrote a book called Girls in STEM, Voices for Change, and it's really about tips for inclusion, not just for young women, but for everybody. So tips of how to involve people in the conversation and make sure that we're having that diverse mindset and that diversity of thought that we need to really be innovative and collaborative, the kinds of things that we need in Canada for the future.
Well, Kim, you guys have an amazing team here. You guys put together an amazing event, one that I feel very personally involved with, and I love it. So thank you so much for being out here and for doing this. I'm Layla, and I'm here with Dave, the first LEGO director. So, Dave, tell me a little bit about why you decided to get into this position.
Yeah, well, I started as a teacher, actually, as a coach running a first LEGO League team. And then, the passion just grew, and it got to the point where I want to be more involved in the coordination of it. So, started doing that, and now I'm, moving up to the big leagues now in first robotics.
So obviously you have a passion for the STEM industry. How do you think that FIRST instills a passion in the next generation for the STEM industry?
Well, you can ask the kids because they'll tell you for sure. But you come to an event like this and you see the passion in the kids, the excitement of their teams. They're cheering Blue Alliance, Red Alliance, and the excitement there is just prevalent everywhere, and it catches on with everybody. So even if you've got a kid who's maybe just a hanger-on, it's still a passion for them because they get involved with the rest of the kids that are already excited. And it just brings everybody up to the same level.
So how do you guys design your competitions? These competitions can be very, very advanced, and everyone here is a high school student.
Yeah, so the competitions are designed in the U.S. and they partnered with, first partnered with Disney actually, and so that's why it looks so good because Disney's good at that, right? But yeah, so they design it. The kids obviously they get a kit of parts. They get their registration with the fee, and then they have 6 weeks to build what you see on the field. So they have to design it. Once they find out what the challenge is, 6 weeks design, build, and program the robots, and also practice driving because that's part of the skills.
So how do you think that the skills they learn here will be transferable into their post-secondary education and in the future to a career?
So it's interesting because we're a STEM program, right? So there's obvious STEM skills. You've got science, technology, engineering, math, and the design, the build of the robot. So all of that is obviously there. They're getting a lot of trade skills too. They're learning how to use a drill. They're learning how to use a saw. They're also learning how to do things like interact with professionals, right? So a lot of them will have their pieces laser cut by another company. So they're interacting with those companies. A lot of what they have to do is reach out to sponsorships. Because the program is expensive to run, they can't afford it just out of their school budget. So they have to actually purposely go out and recruit sponsors for their organization. They have to create a business plan. They have to work together as a team, right? So it's those collaboration, those soft skills that they're learning. Part of the program too is to make a presentation to judges for the Chairman's Award and for the Dean's List. And so those presentations are also building those kids' skills for presentation skills, communication skills. It's just an all-round great program from STEM all the way through to language and presentation, confidence building, all of those skills.
Very exciting, Dave. Obviously, when I did this, there was not as many women here, so I'm very happy as a woman in STEM to see so many girls here. How is FIRST Robotics actively trying to get more young women into this industry and into these events?
Well, for one thing, we try with our volunteers to try and get a mix of men and women, and we're trying to actively recruit women so that the kids in the stands see women in those roles. We also, from a team perspective, we have grants for teams that want to start up all-girls teams or girl-majority teams. So we have that. We have a Girls in STEM Council, so we've got a group of girls that are from teams or alumni, along with our own staff and senior volunteers, and they have a council which helps to direct our initiatives, gives us feedback on how we're doing. And interestingly enough, we have 2 first LEGO League provincials, East and West now, and we took stats this year on how we were doing, and it was a 48% in the East and a 47% in the West girl percentage of the participants. So we were really excited about that ratio because typically it's about 30-70.
As a young woman myself in engineering, I'm like one of 4 of us. So I'm very excited to see the next generation of young women come up and see my program get more diverse. So Dave, thank you for all of the work that you've done. You guys put on an amazing competition. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Hi, I'm Layla, and I'm here with Mark, who's the president of FIRST Robotics. Mark, tell me a little bit about how you ended up in the position that you're in today.
Well, way back in 1998, I was a school teacher, just looking for something really fun for kids to do. And at that time, FIRST wasn't in Canada, it was just in the United States. So I phoned them and said, hey, could a Canadian team participate? And they said, sure. And so we had the very first team in 1998, and then it's just continued to grow ever since then.
Very exciting, Mark. So I, as kind of an alumni of FIRST Robotics, enjoyed this, and I honestly think it made me the engineer that I am today. So can you tell me a little bit about how you think this inspires students and why it's such a captivating moment in the life of a student, even if they only do it for one single year?
I think it really captures a lot of things that get students excited. Obviously, you're learning STEM, which is really important for your career, but it's also a competition, and everybody likes competition. So you get to learn valuable skills, but you're also able to compete and trying to win on the field, and I think it's a really good mix. It's like sport, in a way, and we call FIRST sport for the mind, and I really believe that.
I really believe it as well, so I subscribe to the idea. Can you tell us a little bit about the competition today and what's expected of these students?
So they have 6 weeks to build a robot from nothing to playing the game this year, which is all themed around space this year. And there's various tasks they have to do for various points. Strategy is really key. What should I do? What should I not do? Sometimes it's hard to make your robot do everything. So every team across Canada, around the world, is tasked with the same challenge, same time constraints, and it's always amazing to me to look at the robots. They all look different because the creativity and ingenuity of all the kids comes out and they get to build their very special creation. It's like part of their family by the time they're done.
It's very true. Teams get incredibly close. How do you guys foster a good environment so that sometimes every industry can get a little rough, especially with sports? You guys have a great community here. How do you guys ensure that this community stays true to the idea of what you're promoting?
Well, we center around our core values at FIRST, and FIRST is way more than just about the robot. I mean, the robot is the trick, the fun to get people excited, but we really have a family at FIRST, and people that come here, it's almost like Christmas, where they get to see each other at all the events every year. You reestablish old friendships, you make connections for co-op jobs or for jobs, full-time jobs or university, college, skilled trades, and it just is like a big family. I view FIRST Canada as a big family.
Very cool. It's very hard to find an industry, especially a competitive one, to be so interconnected. But I think that interconnectedness really plays into the work industry, because in the work industry you have to cooperate and not be competitive. Do you guys try and base your challenges off of what you think students will be required to know in their post-secondary education and in their career?
Certainly the skills the students building the robot, transfers directly. But the other skills like leadership, teamwork, and communication, those are top skills that employers are looking for. If you have all the intelligence in the world, but you can't communicate, or you can't be a good leader, it's not very useful. So a big part of what we do, and why I've kept involved in FIRST for so many years, is these other skills that we're teaching students, as well as the robotic skills and STEM skills, which are very important, but the leadership, teamwork, and communication skills, to me, are really critical.
So almost everyone who participates today from an organization level is a volunteer. Why do you think the volunteers come out and be a part of this, even though they're not competing?
You know, it's a good question, and we have volunteers that come back year after year after year, and I think it goes back to the part that FIRST is a great family, and they make a lot of friends, and they want to come back and see them, and they really believe in the cause. They really believe in what we're doing, the difference we're making in students' lives, and they just keep coming back year after year, and it's so great to see them every year at our events with their smiling faces. They're here for the right reason. They're here to support the kids, to support our mission, and to get more kids involved and get exposed to STEM.
Amazing, Mark. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to sit here and have a chat with us. We really appreciate it, and you've put on an amazing performance and organization today. So thank you so much for kind of heading this, because I know it changed my life, which is really awesome, and it's changing everyone else here. So thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
I am VARC. Thank you, Mark, David, and Kim. We appreciate your commitment to FIRST and to these students and their teams. I am VARC. Thank you for listening to this podcast featuring interviews from Durham College, site of a recent FIRST Robotics Canada competition event. End transmission.